Welcome back to the All-State Game of the Week. Second half about to get underway at Florida State. The Seminoles leading BYU by the score of 13-10. This was a game that was dominated pretty much by Florida State early on. They had a big fumble that took points off the board more than likely, but now they have the 3-point lead over BYU. Pam Ward joined by former Florida State and NFL quarterback Danny Cannell, and it really was Florida State early and BYU late.
Well, we talked about it at the open. It was a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde for both teams early in the season, and it's been that way in this game so far. Both teams have had a little success, and then they've struggled a little bit, but BYU had the momentum going in at halftime.
Both teams coming off of disheartening losses last week. BYU losing to Air Force, and then Oklahoma falling winning 47-17 over Florida State in Norman. And another booming kickoff that goes through the end zone. Dustin Hopkins with a big-time leg. Here's some first-half plays for you.
Florida State early gets Chris Thompson involved. Lonnie Pryor, the fullback, with a great block on Jordan Pendleton, springs him open for the big hole. Chris Thompson finds a huge hole and takes advantage of it. And on the other side, BYU finally started to get things going. It took a while, but once they settled on Jake Heaps at quarterback, he found a little rhythm, finding his running back, DeLuigi, and later going to Cody Hoffman in the back of the end zone, catching the momentum before halftime.
Scoring those 10 points in their last 2 possessions of the first half, and Jake Heaps continues as the quarterback. Riley Nelson started the game at quarterback. They alternated through the first 4 series, but it has been all Heaps ever since. Take a look at the numbers from the first half. Florida State was outgaining BYU badly until the end of the second quarter. 3 sacks for Florida State. BYU had given up 0 sacks in their first 2 games. And that one big turnover by Florida State, and BYU got the ball at the 12 just as Florida State appeared to be driving in for a score. Heaps, the freshman, plenty of time, floats one that goes out of bounds. McKay Jacobson was the receiver over there.
He got drilled as he was trying to throw the ball, and it really affected his throw. Florida State's got to go back to pressuring the quarterback. That's why they had so much success early in the football game. In the second quarter, they weren't getting to him, and Jake Heaps, once he gets comfortable in the pocket, he can be dangerous. Even though he's young, he has a pretty good grasp of this offense.
Coach is rave about how poised he is for a true freshman. Here he is facing a 3rd and 4 opening drive of the second half. That one is too high, intended for Hoffman, who caught the touchdown pass in the second quarter. Greg Reed on the coverage.
And even on a bad throw, you can see the velocity that it comes out with. He's got plenty of arm strength making the cross-the-field throw. It's one of those situations, again, you come out at halftime, you got to find that rhythm. Sometimes it takes a while, but he had his receiver, just missed him.
So 3 plays and a punt for BYU to start off the second half. Riley Stevenson, a very good punter, getting ready to kick to Greg Reed, who's an even better punt returner.
And BYU so far has been able to contain Greg Reed with great directional punting, kicking towards the sideline, not giving him anywhere to run.
Kick away from him again. This one is short, especially by Stevenson standards, but it goes out of bounds. They don't want Reed to get his hands on that football. ESPNU's coverage of college football continues tonight at 7 Eastern as number 15 LSU hosts Mississippi State in an SEC battle. Follow that up at 10:30 Eastern as we take you out west. UNLV takes on Idaho. College football primetime presented by 5 Hour Energy on ESPNU and ESPNU HD. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. That 3 and out, by the way, by BYU was its first 3 and out since its opening possession of the game when Riley Nelson was at quarterback. Christian Ponder going all the way for Florida State. Chris Thompson, the running back, he had a huge 83-yard touchdown run earlier in this game. Ponder hangs onto it, cuts inside, picks up about 5 yards. Austin Jorgensen making the stop.
And there's about the 4th time we've seen Christian Ponder with just a straight zone run to the left, and you've seen them run this a few times. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'd like to see you get the ball in the hands of the guys with the speed. Get them in Chris Thompson's hands, Jermaine Thomas, Ty Jones, Christian Ponder's an exceptional runner, but I don't know why he has to take the pounding just running the football so many times.
Brings up a 2nd and 5, play action. Ponder against the grain, gets it to Reed. Reed picks up the seminal first down into BYU territory.
That's good for another Florida State.
And Burt Reed, who had the spectacular catch early in the game, but ended up turning it over, giving it back to BYU. He has been Christian Ponder's favorite target for most of the year, and he continues to be so.
Reed also had a fumble that he was the one who lost the ball at the 12-yard line, actually hit the helmet of a teammate that knocked the ball loose. But he dropped the first pass that was thrown to him, and since then he's been very solid. Ponder with time has a man wide open, and he just missed him. Boy, Javaris Little was all alone, and the ball was a little bit overthrown.
Huge opportunity here. You can freeze it right here. Here's the middle safety right here. He's going to go to the middle of the field. You're going to have a seam route here and a seam route over here, and this one is wide open. Let it play. Christian Ponder missed a huge opportunity there. He did get drilled when he was throwing the football. Definitely affected his throw to Javaris Little. But those are the opportunities. You only get those types of wide open shots so many times a game. I know you're getting killed while you're throwing it. You got to find a way to get it there.
79 yards passing, 30 yards rushing for Ponder. Back to throw again, in trouble. Rolling to his left, hangs onto it. Goes out of bounds around the 44-yard line. Picks up about 3. Vixa Otto with the big-time pressure for BYU.
Great look at Christian Ponder's eyes, surveying the field, keeping him downfield while he's running, avoiding tacklers. And nowhere to go with the football, so he picks up some yardage. A lot of guys just have to throw that away. I was one of them, Pam. I did not run around like that.
Could you have even gotten out on the outside like that?
No, I would have thrown it away before
that.
that.
Yeah, a long time ago. 3rd and 7. Ponder so nifty with his feet. 3 receivers to his right. He has time, throws it underneath. It is caught by Reed, who really is becoming his go-to receiver. He picks up the first down.
Here's a look at Christian Ponder and all that he's accomplished. He really is a stellar young man and a great football player. He had obviously the Heisman campaign kicked off early. One of the great things he's able to do is put accurate passes like that one to Burt Reed there. He can throw it all over the field, make every throw he needs to. And not only that, he's an exceptional leader for this team.
Reed already 7 catches for 77 yards. Ponder handing it off. Jones. And he runs close to another first down. Good opening drive for Florida State.
And really, it feels like Florida State's offense feels like the left side of their offensive line is the strength. Even with Andrew Datko out, they've been working the left side of BYU's defense most of the day and continue to do so here. All the running backs getting the touches today, too.
It is indeed a first down for Florida State, while sitting just outside the 25-yard line on their opening drive of the second half. Halstead in motion. Stays into pass or to run protect. Got in there to block for Jones. Jorgensen making the stop after a 2-yard carry.
And there they work a run to the right. They want to keep everybody honest. They must have heard me up here. They don't want to show any tendencies.
Yep, Datko not starting because of a shoulder problem that's been bothering him since fall camp. Orleans has done a good job, the redshirt freshman from Belglade, Florida, filling in for him. 2nd and 9. Ponder hangs onto it, broke a tackle, jumped over another defender and picked up the first down. Maybe that's why they have him run the ball so often.
Absolutely, I would too. I mean, that was an outstanding job making something happen. But watch Shane Hunter, the linebacker, number 51, has Christian Ponder in his grasp, just missed him right there. When you give a guy like Ponder a second chance, he's going to make you pay.
10 yards on that. Christian 7 carries now. Carries a good per carry average. 9 carries for 43 yards for Christian. Chris Thompson had the carry that time for Florida State. course, Ponder last year was a terrific season last year, on pace for a 4,000-yard season through the air. And then he hurt his shoulder in the 9th game, and that ended his season. Was really having a spectacular year for Florida State. He looks like he's 100% right now.
He absolutely does.
Good drive, 9 plays, 51 yards after BYU went 3 and out in their first possession of the second half. Ponder with time. Finally, the protection breaks down. Everybody was covered downfield, and BYU gets the sack. Ethan Mano Melo Una, the sophomore from Anchorage, coming up with the sack.
And early in the game, you saw BYU's quarterbacks go down due to coverage sacks. And here, Florida State, Christian Ponder goes down, same situation, looking down the field, nowhere to go with the football. The longer you hold on to it, those guys are coming after you. And that chance, they did a good job making sure he did not get outside the pocket and get those extra yards scrambling.
Mano Melo Una taking a little break after the sack. Second sack of Ponder today. 3rd and 12. Ponder coolly stays in the middle, delivers it for the first down to Rodney Smith, the big sophomore. Ponder is slow getting up in the backfield.
And a great job by your veteran quarterback, hanging in the pocket, finding his outlet receiver late, but he does take a hit here and came up a little bit gimpy. Saw a very similar hit last week against Oklahoma. He got knocked down in a very similar fashion.
Like he was favoring his left ankle a little bit. And he's hanging in there. 1st and goal from the 3. That carry, middle yardage for Ty Jones. Andrew Rich making the stop. Rich, the top returning tackler and interceptor on this team. Terrific senior out of Ogden, Utah. Former walk-on who the defensive coaches say is definitely their best player.
And Florida State here needs to punch in for 7 points. This is something that plagued them early in the game. They would get down in the red zone and fail to get a touchdown.
That's right. They had to settle for a couple of field goals and the fumble that we talked about as well. Back in the first half. On 2nd and goal, right up the middle, stopped at the line of scrimmage. Austin Jorgensen with another good tackle, had a career-high 7 last week at Air Force. Has 5 already today.
And BYU, they might not have the biggest guys. Their front 7 is young and experienced, but they are tough. They come up and they do a great job at the point of attack. Outstanding job by Austin Jorgensen.
3rd and goal. Florida State has already converted a pair of 3rd downs on this drive. And here they are from the 3. Ponder fakes the handoff, throws into the end zone, touchdown Seminoles. Ty Jones with the score on 3rd and goal.
Great job by Christian Ponder getting pressure right in his face and finding Ty Jones his outlet. That's his quick outlet. Immediately knows he's got to get rid of the football when So'oto comes after him. And that's how you get easy touchdowns. You know where to go with the football when you're in trouble.
Jones with the touchdown catch, a nice 63-yard drive. Extra point added by Hopkins. Terrific start to the second half for Florida State as they drive the ball down the field. Ponder with his 5th touchdown throw of the season.
I got those Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets. Are they too spicy for you? Well, what is it?
They're only 99 cents.
Try Wendy's 99-cent spicy chicken nuggets.
All white meat seasoned with peppers and savory spices.
Yeah, but the real kick, you get 5 pieces for only 99 cents.
Only at Wendy's.
You know when it's real.
Treat yourself to a cool, creamy Frosty today. Also just 99 cents.
Yep.
We enhanced the driver's sensation of speed in the Lexus supercar by partnering with the craftsmen at Yamaha Music to acoustically tune our engine. This is shaping the future while stirring the senses. This is the pursuit of the impossible. This is is the pursuit of perfection.
Style points don't show up in the box score. Talking a good game has never won a championship. And we're sorry to break it to you. It's not the shoes. It's the work, the pride, the blood, and the tears. Because Russell's wicking sweat out of the equation. Russell Dry Power Moisture wicking tees and fleece. The next evolution in over 100 years of raw performance.
Get the best gridiron coverage on college football live. Our team is on the pulse of the game, bringing you analysis, highlights, big game predictions.
I'm going Big Red.
And unique features that will keep you wanting more.
Let's go, guys.
College football live, weekdays at 4 on ESPNU.
This telecast is presented in high definition on ESPNU HD by Comcast.
This season, our games featuring tunes by some incredible musicians like Shinedown, The Cab, Meatloaf, and 303, to name a few. Thanks for letting us use your music. I think it's 303. I'm not cool enough, Danny, to quite know what that group is.
Yeah, you are.
I don't think
You're
so,
up
buddy.
on the music scene.
No, I don't know. Maybe about 30 years ago. Florida State up 10 on BYU. The fans getting excited now because they just witnessed a 14-play, 63-yard drive that ate up almost 7 minutes of clock, culminating with Ty Jones' touchdown catch. Another huge kickoff. Does this kid have a leg or what? Dustin Hopkins pounds it deep in the end zone again. Let's go back to the TD.
This is a great play call by Jimbo Fisher. They're going to run a wide receiver. They're going to fake the ball to this guy in motion right there. But watch Ty Jones take a little stutter step. That's a lot of move to the left side of your screen. But he's going to slide under So'oto, who's the pressure. And as soon as Christian Ponder feels that pressure, he's going to find Ty Jones, who slips right by BYU's defense. That's an easy touchdown right there for the Seminoles.
Boy, that was really pretty, wasn't it, the way they executed that? Jones with his first touchdown catch. And now Jake Heaps, who has been the quarterback for BYU exclusively. Heaps has since the 4th drive of this game.
He's directing a lot of traffic back there for a young, true freshman quarterback.
Came in during the spring of this year to take part in spring practice. Correa goes down. Moody with the stop after a 3-yard gain. So the 2-quarterback system, BYU has used it all season, and there are their numbers today.
Well, there was a little bit of an inclination that you would see Jake Heaps just because of Florida State's struggles with the pass defense, and sure enough, Jake Heaps is the guy who's had the hot hand today and the most success.
Nelson known more for his ability as a runner than as a passer. DeLuigi, who's shown talent both as a runner and as a receiver, gets that pass.
And the more I watch Heaps play, the more impressed I am with him, with his decision-making, with his ability to read out, go through his progression, and find his checkdowns. Really solid player right now. Very impressed with him. Playing in a pretty hostile environment, coming on the road, you're down, and yet he's showing a lot of composure.
Picked up the first down on that last throw. Lots of time, finds his receiver. McKay Jacobson. Let's get an update now from Darinoka.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and bring in former Florida receiver Chris Doering for this one. Tennessee and the Gators down 10-3. Matt Sims to Denarius Moore, and we're tied. Go ahead.
Thank you very much.
And BYU's most of their success has come out of the no-huddle offense, and that's an area where Florida State is going to have to adjust and get used to it, because more people that see this on film, they're going to do it week in and week out until Florida State steps up and stops it.
Brian Correa, they were doing the hurry-up offense, picked up another first down. And there's a DeLuigi run. He picks up 3. So just going back to Dari's update. Tennessee and Florida tied up at 10 apiece.
Well,
and they flashed it up on the screen here at the stadium. There was a huge roar.
As they should, because it doesn't matter who's playing the Gators. They will get rooted for. But it's interesting. You know, a lot of people said Tennessee was going to be weak, but they had a poor performance against Oregon in the second half, but they're going toe-to-toe with the Gators. It's one of those rivalry games that's always tight.
2nd and 6 for BYU. Heaps to Hoffman. And Hoffman is taken down by Greg Reed as soon as he caught the ball. Picks up about 4 on that play. A lot of different personnel now coming onto the field for BYU, and you see the first 5 drives, not so hot for BYU, but the last 4, they really have gotten things going, all 4 of those drives with Heaps at quarterback. Here's a 3rd and 3 for the true freshman. Florida State was offsides. Here's a free play. And a big hit. Michael Harris just drilled Luke Ashworth, who still held onto the football, but it's going to be offsides Florida State.
Offside. Defense, number 96. 5-yard penalty. Yardage results at first down.
Well, I believe the official might want to get his glasses checked, because right here it's number 98, actually, Marcus White, who's going to get, you know, he's trying to get a sack, but you've got to hold your water. We talked about it earlier. One of those things. You just handed BYU a first down on a silver platter.
White already has a sack and a fumble recovery today, but that was a big offsides call. Heaps in trouble. Somehow got away from it and still almost completed the pass. That was Spencer Hofoka, who could not bring it in.
And Heaps, not the biggest guy at 6'1", 194 pounds, but he does feel some pressure. A couple guys bounce on him. They're going for the strip. They're trying to take the ball away, and once again does find his outlet. He goes with the right place with the football. Even though it wasn't completed, it was a solid decision.
That's the first time that he has misfired on this drive. Second and 10. And nothing doing. Getting into the backfield, Everett Dawkins was all over DeLuigi. Dropped him for a loss.
One of the big things that this Florida State defense did, and with their strength and conditioning coach, was get some power up front. Everett Dawkins coming through the line of scrimmage, using some of the extra 20 pounds that he put in the offseason to muscle his way into the quarterback.
And on 3rd and 13, here comes some crowd noise. Heaps, flushed out of the pocket, goes down. The 4th sack of the game for Florida State, but their first since the 3rd series of the game for BYU. It was Dawkins with another big play.
You know, we just talked about his added weight gain has gotten stronger. And when you're in better shape, you can rush the passer in the 3rd quarter on a day when it's 93 degrees out and it's humid and hot, and they're still getting after Jake Heaps, giving him a tough time to look down the field. It's 3rd and 13. There's not a whole lot to do there, so you're better off just taking the sack, kicking it away, and letting your defense play.
Instead, they lost 14 yards. Could be big in the as far as field position, but not when you get a punt off like that by Stevenson. They finally kick it to Reed. The very dangerous Greg Reed is able to squirt away for a few extra yards. 55-yard punt, a 7-yard return. The Seminoles have the ball in a 10-point lead.
We enhanced the driver's sensation of speed in the Lexus supercar by partnering with the craftsmen at Yamaha Music to acoustically tune our engine. This is shaping the future while stirring the senses. This is the pursuit of the impossible. This is the pursuit of perfection.
you crave. Doritos Late Night Cheeseburger.
ESPNU is home for the passionate college football fan as our experts break down the top 25 in a weekly 3-hour special.
Alabama looked fantastic this week. Where are they now and where are they going to be? That's the key.
Go inside the game as our football gurus explain the ins and outs.
Don't try to be extraordinary. You go back to the one thing that you do well.
They're going to have to diagnose the run. They're going to have to go against a big offensive line.
Four of the starters could easily end up as first-team All-Americans.
The Experts, Tuesday at 1 on ESPNU.
ESPNU College Football All-State Game of the Week, brought to you by the new 2011 Lexus IS, wheeled precision. Welcome back to Florida State. The Seminoles with a 20-10 lead over BYU. Join host Lowell Galindo with David Pollack and Charles Arbuckle for BCS Countdown for in-depth analysis of this week's games and a look ahead to next week's action. The BCS Countdown presented by Allstate Monday at 6 Eastern on ESPNU and ESPNU HD. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. So a nice 55-yard punt by Riley Stevenson, his third punt of at least 50 yards today, has pushed the Seminoles back to the 14-yard line.
Riley Stevenson with a huge week one, had a couple of shanks last week. Looks like he's back to his solid form.
Oh, nice cut. And then shaking the tackle. Chris Thompson already has an 83-yard run for a touchdown. He's out to midfield where flags come down. He picked up 31 more.
Well, Chris Thompson's a guy that you better get down, because if you don't, he'll find a seam and he will hit it. See guys bouncing off of him if you don't wrap him up. He already showed us earlier in the game he's got potential to break a big play. And there's Brandon Bradley grabbing the helmet. Officials all over it and tack on the extra yards to that run.
Bradley, the native from Tallahassee, grabbing onto the helmet. 15 yards, tack that onto the run. It's a 46-yard gain for Florida State. First down on the 40.
Chris Thompson looks like the hot guy. We mentioned it earlier. He had the hot feet, adding on to his total yardage today.
He was in a battle with Jermaine Thomas during camp, but boy, he really has shown an incredible burst. 3 carries for 116 yards. That's better than Mark Ingram. Oh, what a catch! Willie Halstead going up in front of Bradley and hauling it in. First and goal.
Well, Florida State coaches are going to be loving this. They were waiting for somebody to step up at the 3rd and 4th wide receiver spots, and Willie Halstead goes up and hauls one in right there. Brandon Bradley, I feel kind of bad for him because he's been in great position all day. Halstead just climbs the ladder and goes and makes a spectacular grab.
That's a 34-yard gain. Went up and grabbed it with one arm. First and goal. Ty Jones gets around the corner and is stopped just short of the goal line. Jorgensen with the touchdown-saving tackle.
Well, the backs just keep coming at you. Give Thompson a blow and let Ty Jones take a carry, and look at the cut up inside right there to gain the extra yardage. Grabbed a great block from Flo Relaford, his tight end, and almost gets to the end zone.
Second and goal from inside the 1. And a Florida State touchdown. Ponder hanging on, taking it the extra yard all by himself.
And Ponder wisely taking it behind his 4th-year starting center, Ryan McMahon, and his 4th-year starting guard, Rodney Hudson. Finding his strengths of his offensive line and running, following those big guys up front.
See, they covered a lot of ground in a very short amount of time. 31-yard rush plus a 15-yard penalty, a 34-yard pass, a 5-yard run, capped off by the 1-yard run by Ponder. Hopkins' extra point extends the lead to 27-10 for Florida State. Ponder, a terrific athlete, a great student, and now he's got himself a rushing touchdown.
Your source for the best gridiron coverage is College Football Live. Our team is on the pulse of the game, bringing you analysis.
If they lose this game, they're definitely out of the national championship talk.
Breaking news, highlights, and big game predictions.
I'm going big red, baby.
Plus, we go deep for exclusive interviews.
The secret is out, my friend.
And unique features that will keep you wanting more.
Let's go, guys. Come on.
College Football Live, weekdays at 4 on ESPNU.
We all do everything we can to make things right for our family. And when you're injured, you want a law firm that will do everything to try and make things right for you. At Fonville, Lewis, Foote & Messer, we'll work towards that goal. Teamwork is an important aspect of how we handle cases. But to us, they're more than just cases. They're people just like you who want to be treated fairly. At Fonville, Lewis, Foote & Messer, there are no fees or costs unless you win. And we want you to win. Call us today for your free consultation.
Every year, truck buyers save thousands of dollars during Champion Chevrolet's Truck Month, and this year's event will be their best ever. Why? We have a huge selection of brand new Chevy trucks, some with total savings up to $8,000. All remaining new 2010s are clearance priced. New 2011s are arriving daily, all specially priced, like full-size Silverados as low as $18,990. Find interest rates as low as 0% for 6 years. Plus, get huge savings on every GM-certified used vehicle on our lot. Truck Month has begun at Champion Chevrolet. Buy for less now.
College football fans won't want to miss ESPNU's latest show, The Experts. 6 experts, unfiltered conversation about the hot topics in college football. Comes your way Tuesdays, live at 1 Eastern with an encore presentation at 7 Eastern, only on ESPNU. My colleague Danny Cannell was on it early on, and I'm openly campaigning. You can't have an expert show without you.
That's right.
I mean,
hopefully I'll be back sooner or later.
Light,
especially during the season. There's so much to talk about. Virginia Tech's rough start to the season. Denard Robinson, his spectacular start. You've got Reggie Bush giving back the Heisman Trophy. A lot of stuff. 3 hours to talk about it.
Wow. It's a good show. You should watch it anyway. But if you were on it, it'd be just it'd be Emmy material. Florida State with a couple of really good drives here in the third quarter. A couple of touchdowns that they have scored to extend this lead to 27-10. At the half, it was 13-10, Florida State. This crowd, which was a little surly at halftime when BYU scored the touchdown to get to within a field goal, now starting to feel a little bit better. Guy could get touchbacks in Canada.
The thing that's so impressive about it is not only is it deep, but the hang time is unreal.
Well, maybe not a touchback in Canada, because if you don't run it out, you give up a point. Florida State has 4 sacks today. BYU had given up 0 coming into this game.
Well, this is something that's been lacking a long time at this program here in Tallahassee, but today the defensive line has done an outstanding job getting after the quarterback, controlling the line of scrimmage, and just dominating so far the front 7.
So many question marks about this defense. Statistically, they were among the worst in the nation last year. Not off to a great start this year, but so far looking all right against a BYU team that has a lot of new guys on their offense in the skill position. DeLuigi picks up a couple. Now, we talked about the struggling defense, and the numbers we're about to show you bear that out.
Well, that's pretty abysmal there in 2009. 108 in FBS out of 120 schools. And you're talking about a program that traditionally has been one of the top defenses in the country.
In those 3 years, Jimbo Fisher, you saw the offensive coordinator as DeLuigi gets a couple more. Now the head coach was the offensive coordinator back then. Here's an update. Dari Noka, take it away.
All right, how about Florida, Tennessee? Now, we showed you Tennessee tie it at 10. Now, Florida went down, got a touchdown pass from John Brantley to Frankie Hammond, and then Mike Gillisley's second touchdown run of the day. Gators up 2 TDs.
Thank you, Dari. That won't make the folks here in Tallahassee very happy. Here's the 3rd and 6, and we're going to run that play. BYU will when we come back when the fourth quarter begins. A very good third quarter for Florida State. They get a couple of touchdowns. Ty Jones catching a touchdown pass from Christian Ponder, and then Ponder taking it in from 1. Fourth quarter coming up. Florida State leading it 27-10.
break down college football's top 25 with the experts. Tuesday at 1 on ESPNU.
Start your engine.
We enhanced the driver's sensation of speed in the Lexus supercar by partnering with the craftsmen at Yamaha Music to acoustically tune our engine. This is shaping the future while stirring the senses. This is the pursuit of the impossible. This is the pursuit of perfection.
It's time to take matters into your own hands. AutoZone's got the advice and expertise you need to take on any job, because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Your source for the best gridiron coverage is College Football Live. Our team is on the pulse of the game, bringing you analysis.
If they lose this game, they're definitely out of the national championship talk.
Breaking news, highlights, and big game predictions.
I'm going Big Red, baby.
Plus, we go deep for exclusive interviews.
The secret is out, my friend.
And unique features that will keep you wanting more.
Let's go, guys. Come on.
College Football Live, weekdays at 4 on ESPNU.
Week 2, Saints 49ers. Drew Brees, he's very tough to beat, John.
But watch Patrick Willis. He will bring the heat.
Right, Jaws. Willis is outstanding, but the Niners D has got to keep all the Saints' offensive weapons in check.
Don't forget, Coach, the 49ers have a few big play threats of their own, and Singletary will have this team fired up for the defending champs.
ESPN Monday Night Football, Saints 49ers at 8:30.
The Longhorns and the Fighting Irish face difficult tests on the road on Saturday Night Football. Texas, Texas Tech, and Notre Dame, Michigan State. Tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC or ESPN2. College football lives here.
Coming up next weekend on the U, oh, that's a big one. 7 Eastern time, Mike Hartline and the Wildcats take on John Brantley and the Florida Gators. The Gators were locked up in a battle with Tennessee, but have started to extend that a little bit. Here we have Florida State with a 27-10 lead over BYU. Ponder has thrown for a touchdown and run for another one as the fourth quarter is about to get underway.
He's been solid. He looks like he's back on track to where he was last year before he got injured.
Season-ending shoulder injury in the 9th game of the year. They still went on to a bowl game and won it. E.J. Manuel, who's the backup, started those last few games. And there's a catch by DeLuigi where BYU on third down picks up the first down. Pressure by Brandon Jenkins.
Jake Heaps took an absolute shot right there, right in his face. And that's welcome to big-time college football. Brandon Jenkins, number 49, delivering a blow as soon as he threw it. But he bounced right back up.
DeLuigi has definitely been the go-to guy for Heaps. Running back with the big-time catch. That ball is skipped at the feet of intended receiver Luke Ashworth.
And one thing we heard Mark Stoops and James Coley and the Florida State coaches say is that they want their players to play like it's 0-0 at all times, and especially against the BYU team. They talked about last year being up by 3 touchdowns, and BYU never gave up. They came and fought till the very end, and I'm sure they'll do the same today.
BYU losing that game last year 54-28 in Provo when BYU was 7th in the nation. You might recall they had a huge win against Oklahoma a couple of weeks before. Another incompletion, 2 in a row, that time looking for Chambers over the middle.
Well, the BYU offensive line is doing a better job of giving Heaps time to look downfield. That's 2 misfires in a row after he took the big shot. You got to wonder if that's affected some of his accuracy.
Big guys protecting him in front. The best is Matt Reynolds, number 70, 3-year starter on all the lists for alignment of the year. Here's another third down, 3rd and 10. Heaps goes down, 5th sack of the day for Florida State. This time it was Brandon Jenkins. One more from right here in Tallahassee.
Once again, Florida State's defensive line giving BYU's left tackle fits. I mean, that's the strength. Matt Reynolds is their best guy. Brandon Jenkins just speed rushes him to the outside, gets around. This will be a welcome sight to Florida State fans who are so used to seeing opposing quarterbacks knocked down time after time, but it hasn't been the case here in quite some time.
Here comes Riley Stevenson. He's averaged 48 yards per punt. This is his 6th punt. Not quite the distance, and second time in a row he's kicked it to Greg Reed. And Reed goes down at the 25-yard line. So Florida State has the ball when we come back, and when we come back, we'll look at page 7 of this year's Florida State Media Guide.
Style points don't show up in the box score. Talking a good game has never won a championship. And we're sorry to break it to you. It's not the shoes. It's the work, the pride, the blood, and the tears. Because Russell's wicking sweat out of the equation. Russell Dry Power Moisture Wicking Tees and Fleece. The next evolution in over 100 years of raw performance.
Gear up at Cabela's. Get what's new for the season at tough-to-beat prices. Shop your way online at Cabela's.com, by catalog, or in-store. Cabela's, world's foremost outfitter.
We got ADT because I walked in on a burglary once. The physical damage was pretty bad. The emotional toll was even worse. Our daughter had nightmares. What that robber really took from us was our peace of mind. With ADT, we got it back.
Every 15 seconds, a burglary takes place in the United States. Help protect your family with a fast alarm response of ADT. A single ADT system can help protect your home from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. When an alarm is received, ADT can call the local authorities for help. And you get this monitored protection, plus great local service, all for about $1 a day. And only ADT offers a theft protection guarantee.
Take it from me. The time to think about a security system isn't after something bad happens. It's before.
Call now and save over $250 when you buy ADT's family package. And ask about our new technology, like our keychain remote. ADT, always there.
Welcome back to Florida State, where the Seminoles lead BYU 27-10. Florida State has a couple of national championships under its belt. The first one came back in 1993, immortalized on page 7 of this year's Florida State Media Guide. And
who's that guy doing that hold right there? That's pretty good form, isn't it?
Number 13, and that's the guy. Was that Scott Bentley's the kicker?
Yep.
And the perfect hold brought about a national championship.
That was a special time to give Coach Bowden his first national title. For so long it had plagued him, especially with the kickers missing so many wide rights. It was finally good to see somebody else miss a kick to win a national title.
Almost premature celebration though, right?
There was. Scott Bentley and myself, we actually went over and gave Coach Bowden the Gatorade shower a little bit early. We were sweating it out until they missed that field goal.
Danny Cannell holding on Scott Bentley's 22-yard field goal that gave the Seminoles an 18-16 lead, but Byron Bennett missed a 45-yard field goal, and it was the first of 2 national titles for Florida State. Thompson gets no gain on that carry, and there you are.
I could give a clinic on how to hold, Pam, if you would like, but I'd rather give a clinic on how to celebrate.
And you're gonna get bowled under, right?
That's right. We had a great time there and a really special time.
Ended up on the bottom of that pile after holding for that.
I didn't mind getting squished at all.
For that field goal. 2nd and 10 now after Thompson had no gain. And this time they're going to lose yardage. Terrific penetration by Jamison Frazier. The junior linebacker dropped the ball carrier for a 5-yard loss.
What a great penetration job there by Jamison Frazier. How about Jamison speaks 4 different languages? Something you see a lot from these BYU guys. They go on their mission, spend 2 years in a foreign country, and really just pick up the language and the lifestyle.
English, of course, along with Spanish, French, and Haitian Creole. And Jamison is a second-generation linebacker. His dad, Danny, was a linebacker at BYU before he had his career ended by an injury. And there's a big-time run, a broken tackle, and a first down for Ty Jones. Different running backs that Florida State has used, 3 different running backs, and they're accumulating a lot of yards.
Great job up front, getting some great blocks by his offensive linemen. And these Florida State backs, once you give them an opportunity, they're going to make the most of it. We've already seen Chris Thompson spring a couple. Ty Jones is getting in on the fun as well. And Florida State here, it's one of those situations where you can rely heavily on your veteran offensive line to kind of grind out the clock in the fourth quarter.
That was a 3rd and 15, and Jones picked up 20. Pass over to Halstead, who breaks a couple of tackles. Check that, it's Burton Reed who gets the first down. Great effort on the sideline there by Reed.
Burt Reed is the guy, the shifty receiver, the guy that you're going to go to. You'll find him on 3rd down, get him the ball, and he is tough to tackle in the open field. You see him making a few moves there, missing linebackers, getting around and finding the first down.
There is an injured Cougar on the field as he is attended to. We will take a break and come right back. Okay, it's Logan.
Get what you crave. Doritos Late Night Cheeseburger.
I got those Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets. Are they too spicy for you? Well, what is it?
They're only 99 cents.
Try Wendy's 99-cent spicy chicken nuggets.
All white meat seasoned with peppers and savory spices.
Yeah, but the real kick, you get 5 pieces for only 99 cents.
Only at Wendy's.
You know when it's real.
Treat yourself to a cool, creamy Frosty today. Also just 99 cents.
Yep.
ESPNU is home for the passionate college football fan as our experts break down the top 25 in a weekly 3-hour special.
Alabama looked fantastic this week. Where are they now, and where are they going to be? That's the key.
Go inside the game as our football gurus explain the ins and outs.
Don't try to be extraordinary. You go back to the one thing that you do well.
They're going to have to diagnose the run. They're going to have to go against a big offensive line.
4 of the starters could easily end up as first-team All-Americans.
The Experts, Tuesday at 1 on ESPNU.
ESPNU College Football All-State Game of the Week brought to you by Allstate. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate. Are you in good hands? Florida State looking good here in the second half. They have not given up any points and have extended their lead over BYU to 27-10. They have the football now at midfield in the house where Danny Cannell played quarterback so well.
You were I love your use of hyperbole. I love how you're able to exaggerate.
That's good. No, but you were Charlie Ward's backup, and then you were the man for 2 years.
For 2 years.
Ponder, who is the new version of Danny Cannell, puts one up. Rodney Smith almost got to it.
And how many times do you see it, Pam? You see a cornerback go down, and they're going to try out the new guy, number 25, Corby Eason, take a shot on him, make sure he's ready to go. But he did a great job. Good position. You're defending a huge wide receiver, and he did a great job.
Eason in there because Brian Logan was helped off the field right before the last time out. Ponder, good numbers on the day. Thrown for 148 yards. After a very subpar game last week in Oklahoma. Oh, another good run, just tripped up when it looked like Chris Thompson picked up 6. He was just tripped up. He's had a couple of big runs today. Zach Stout made the stop. Now, let's go back. I wonder, partner, if you were ever nervous out on the football field. And we dug this up. You lined up very nicely under the right guard.
That was all part of the plan to disguise him. My old teammates are going to have a field day with this.
And then it looked like you almost run into your running back. And what did you get? A touchdown. Really?
78-yard touchdown at that.
Doesn't not that you remember or anything.
Let me tell you how long I heard about that play from my guard, Chad Bates. I went up at him, and I think he was as shocked as anybody when he felt somebody up under him.
Now, and was that a busted play then with the running back? Here's Ponder. That's something you didn't do.
No.
Oh, he lost the football at the end. 18-yard gain. It is a first down.
Christian Ponder had a field day last year running the football. BYU said they did not realize how fast he was. This year, they're prepared. They know it, and they still can't stop him.
See, the ball came out, but he was squarely down by contact. Robin Smith jumped on it anyway. Ponder, 12 carries now for 58 yards. In the second half, BYU is 0 for 3, 3 possessions, 3 punts. Whereas Florida State working on their third possession, 2 for 2 in their first 2 possessions, both of them touchdowns. So whatever adjustments were made at halftime, against BYU, Ty Jones with the carry. Now we were in Boston College last week, and Dave Shinsky, the quarterback for BC, he started out his season this year by lining up under the wrong guy, and then he threw an interception on the same play. At least you had the good sense to throw a touchdown.
See, I can laugh about it now because I was able to come away with a touchdown. I don't know what you do if you throw an interception, but I had some pretty good talent around me. Just was able to spread it around and let the good guys, let the good athletes do all the work.
Danny Cannell back here. This is the second game you've done as a TV guy. You were here last year for the almost upset loss by Jacksonville State, right?
It's always good to come back to your old stomping grounds.
Florida State over 400 yards of total offense. Another nifty run by Ty Jones. Boy, they are breaking tackles left and right. That tackle by Aveni Langwai picks up 12, and usually this is a very fundamentally sound BYU defense.
But when you're trying to defend moves like that one, that little jump cut right there is so tough to tackle. There's one guy missed. There's 2. Finally, the third or fourth try, they bring him down.
Very quick, keeping the feet going for Ty. Florida State, 262 rush yards this afternoon. 83 of them came on Chris Thompson's touchdown run back in the first half. Here's another 1st and 10. And another carry. Flag comes in from the back judge.
Jones on the carry.
Jones with the carry.
Holding, offense, number 88, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
That's the tight end, Bo Relaford.
And really, looking back at the second half, I think that's pretty much the first negative play this Florida State offense has had. Really, James Coley and Jimbo Fisher, who run the offense, have got to be thoroughly pleased with the way Florida State has responded after their poor performance last week against Oklahoma. They wanted to see how this team would respond, how these young players would come out after facing some adversity, gave them a tough week of practice, and they've got to be very happy with the way the team has played today.
And earlier in this drive, remember they had a 3rd and 15. Jones then ran for 20 on that play, and now more flags coming in. Looks like David Spurlock moved
Dead
early.
ball, false start, offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And I do believe we can hear Jimbo Fisher from all the way up here letting these guys have it, because he doesn't care if they're up 17 points. He wants them to play like it's 0-0. Play smart, play discipline. Enough with the foolish penalties. He's going to ride these guys hard.
So now it's 1st and 20 as we hit the 8-minute mark in the 4th quarter. Chris Thompson tackled by Jordan Pendleton. Pendleton we have up here now with 10 tackles.
Well, Jordan Pendleton started off early in the game. First play from scrimmage, made a great, outstanding play. All day he's been batting balls down, chasing guys from behind. Been all over the field. His dad played wide receiver at BYU. Kirk, he also played with Jim McMahon and Steve Young. Not a bad pair of QBs to be catching balls from.
Not at all. Pendleton today has a tackle for loss and also has broken up a pass on his resume along with the 10 tackles, so he has had a solid defensive game. Ponder throws it, completes it to Reed, who picks up a couple of yards. And so that is now for Burt Reed, his 9th catch of the game and his 100th career reception for Reed. BYU has never won in this state. And the last time they won on the road in the ACC 10 years ago when they won at UVA.
What's tough to make that road trip? First of all, you've got some great teams within the state of Florida, and then on top of that, you come and play in this heat and humidity, and it's going to take its toll on your players. And I think they'll be pleased, though. I really do feel like they might have found their quarterback in Jay Keeps.
Timeout taken on 3rd and 18. We are at Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium, and our friends at EA Sports come up with this animation. It's almost like you're in the stadium.
It is unreal to see the detail with which they can bring to you now on video games. And it's almost like a flight simulator for you just put your quarterback in there and let him play for a few hours. Let him go through his reads.
That's the real picture right there, as if you couldn't tell. We have gone into the real photograph, or the real live pictures. A couple of cheerleading squads here. Did you know there's an all-female cheerleading squad and a co-ed cheerleading squad as well? You were aware of that, maybe, perhaps?
I was aware of the female cheerleading squad while I was here, but I wasn't aware that there were two.
Saw Chelsea McDonald, one of those cheerleaders, ran into her before the game, and that's hot work for them too. It's like 95 degrees when we started.
No, and they put in probably just as much practice time as the football players do. Actually got to go on a little run this morning and heard the Marching Chiefs over, getting their pregame warm-up. Gave me a little pep in my step.
Yeah, made you run a little faster?
Absolutely.
Christian Ponder after the timeout on a 3rd and 18. We talked at the beginning of the game about a bounce-back opportunity for both teams after losses at Air Force for BYU and Florida State at Oklahoma. And Florida State really has played very well here in the second half, these penalties on this drive notwithstanding. Another run, staying conservative on 3rd and 18 to Jones. They get it over towards the right hash mark. Shane Hunter makes the stop for the Cougars.
And it was interesting talking to Bronco Mendenhall and the challenges he's facing with a very young team. They do have a lot of talent, but they still are young. And it was so interesting talking to him about the challenges he faces with the kids going on 2-year missions, and the fact that he's spent over 500 hours trying to come up with the best game plan for how to plug guys in and recruit certain players so that they can go on their missions and come back and be ready to play.
So in any given year, they'll have a 40% turnover in the roster because of graduation and also kids coming and going on missions. And that field goal attempt is no good. From 34, Hopkins had hit from 26 and 47. Misses that one. So Florida State hangs on to the ball but couldn't score. BYU has it with time running out for them.
College Football Live, weekdays at 4 on ESPNU.
It's the first German-engineered Buick powered by an all-aluminum engine rated one of Ward's 10 best. Equipped with a 6-speed automatic transmission that allows for manual shifting. If there was ever a time for an American Autobahn, this is it. Introducing the sport-injected 2011 Regal from Buick. And now lease this Buick Regal for $289 per month.
If you're
At At the Hourglass, we know it's important to get the most for your money, and we have 4 big ways you can save. No appointments necessary. Just stop into one of our locations at your convenience. You'll save on eye exams because we accept most vision and medical insurance plans. When you buy a pair of glasses, you get a second pair free. You can even give them to a family member or a friend. Take your new glasses home with you. Most lenses will be ready in about an hour. We'll be glad to mail replacement contacts to you as well. One stop, one trip. There are a lot of ways to save at the Hourglass.
Anoka, Chris Doering, former Gator in the studio. Tennessee has cut the lead to 7. Matt Sims to Justin Hunter.
Will Hill, back from a 2-game suspension, jumped the middle route there, and left the receiver wide open in the cover 2 hole shot.
Not over yet in Knoxville. Don't forget our next game on ESPNU, Mississippi State and LSU kick off about 10 minutes after 7 Eastern time. That's next.
Thank you, fellas. Chris Doering in the studio. We want to offer our congratulations to ESPNU studio analyst Matt Stinchcomb, not in the studio today because he's being inducted this weekend into the University of Georgia Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him, a terrific All-American tackle in Athens, Georgia. Way to go, Matt. Heaps, if you're just joining us, has played quarterback in every series since the 4th series of this game.
And this is a great opportunity for him. You're at the point now where you just let him run your 2-minute drill. They've already been doing no huddle, but even here, speed up the pace a little bit.
DeLuigi, very solid at running back today, right up the middle. Stopped by Kendall Smith.
There's a little look at him spreading the ball around the field, mostly underneath passes. But that's kind of what Oklahoma did last week. They took a lot of underneath stuff against Florida State. They just had better athletes that were able to make guys miss.
On a 3rd and 1, they're throwing the ball. Reed got in front of Cody Hoffman to knock it away.
Great job by Greg Reed. Great pass defense. And BYU is going to go for it on 4th and 1 here.
Have to down by 17, sort of an odd call on 3rd and 1. And now a timeout is taken by Florida State. Now Greg Reed with another nice defensive play at the corner position. We'll take a timeout and be right back.
Start your engine.
From the outside, you can't appreciate the wraparound contour of its 12-way power driver's seat, or the ice blue interior LED lighting. From the outside, you can't enjoy the standard USB and Bluetooth connectivity. But once you're behind the wheel, that's when you discover the beauty of the German-engineered, sport-injected 2011 Regal from Buick.
Down by 7. Final play for Detroit.
Only thing that would make this any better is overtime.
They'll need a miracle to win this football game. Harris slot right, drops back. Hines takes the pass at the 30. With the seam! Wow! Can you believe it? One man to beat! We're headed to overtime!
Buffalo Wild Wings, you have to be here.
Field goal for the win!
Welcome back, Florida State with a timeout. They also are up 17, but here's a 4th and 1 for BYU on their own 29, but with time running out, they are going to go for it. Pam Ward along with former Florida State quarterback Danny Cannell. Florida State has not given up a point in this second half.
Made some great adjustments on both sides of the football. Offense came out, executed their offense almost flawlessly, and the defense has been harassing Jake Heaps for most of the second half.
That is the true freshman from Issaquah, Washington. Correa is the fullback. He gets met head on, and he appears to have the first down. Had to get right to the 30, and that's where they are. That's a tough yard.
That was a real tough yard. Met right at the point of contact and right at the line of scrimmage, but his forward momentum kept him moving to get the first down.
Correa, junior out of the state of Texas. Hit head on by Kendall Smith. Yep.
Kendall Smith right in his face, but using that momentum to get the first down.
Another BYU player is down on the field. We believe it's the center, Terrence Brown, who was the starting right guard last year in his first year as the starting center. This offense, boy, we talked about how they lost Max Hall, their great quarterback, Dennis Pitta, who was only the best receiving tight end in the history of the NCAA, and then Harvey Unga, who was their career rushing leader. So there's a lot of people they had to replace on this offense.
And you can really see, I mean, Bronco Mendenhall has done an outstanding job at BYU, one of the few teams that has 10+ wins the last 4 years in a row. He's 50-15. It's the 4th winningest coach in the FBS in the last 5 years. Trying to get a look and see where Terrence Brown got hurt. Oh, you can see a guy kind of roll up on his leg. It's tough for those offensive linemen when they get in short yardage situations. Everybody's root hogging their way down and trying to keep the leverage.
And during that time, the folks upstairs were reviewing the spot, and they're going to correctly say that he did just get over the 30-yard line for the first down. So BYU hangs on to it with just over 5 minutes left to go in this game. Shadows just about covering the entire field. It's cooled off considerably since when we started, when it was about 95 degrees. Heaps throws it in the general vicinity of Brian Correa. He was pressured by Anthony McLeod, was Heaps. So the big question for BYU when we talked to their coaches earlier this week was that they wanted to find a #1 quarterback. Bronco Mendenhall, who admitted he didn't like 2 quarterback systems, but was deferring to his offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Heaps completes that one to Hoffman for about a 7-yard gain. Do you think they found their quarterback today, Danny?
I do, but I think when you look at the way they described it, they want to do it according to situations, and Florida State's defense has shown the susceptibility to give up big pass plays, and they've got the passing quarterback in there. It'll be interesting to do when they face a team that's stronger against the pass to see if they go back to Riley Nelson. I believe they'd be better off to stick with Heaps.
A world of talent for this young man. Completes it to Correa. No, he doesn't, because Correa dropped it. No one knows better than Brian that he should have held on to it.
And Correa really had to work with there. If he would have caught it, could have ran towards the sideline and worked his way up the field and got out of bounds if he had held on.
Good news, Terrence Brown, the center, is back in there for BYU after being helped off the field a couple of plays ago. Another 4th down. 4th and 4 for BYU. Flags down, Heaps completes it. First down, pending the outcome of the penalty. DeLuigi with the catch. He's coming back.
Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
Jason Spiriton, the senior, one of 5 players on this BYU team who are fathers. Could you imagine being a dad in college?
I can hardly imagine being a dad now to my 2 little girls. I can't imagine doing it back when you're 18, 19, 20 years old.
Jason is a senior from West Valley City, Utah, called for that hold. So negate the first down.
And that is tough. I mean, they had the first down. They made a great throw and catch, and to call it back, now you've got a 4th down and long situation to keep yourselves in this game. It's going to be tough duty.
4th and 14. 4-man rush. Heaps has the ball knocked out of his hands. The ball is loose. Covered up by Heaps, but it's Florida State ball inside the 10. And Bjorn Werner from Berlin, Germany got in there on Heaps.
The German exchange student came over in high school from Germany, showing a relentless pursuit of the quarterback, stripping it out of Jake Heaps. That's something I've noticed today from the Florida State pass rush. Not only are they getting after the quarterback, but they're going for the football. You create those turnovers, that's what separates an average defense from a great one. This Florida State defense is still trying to get to even the good adjective to have people talk about him in that way, and it looks like they're well on their way.
And Christian Ponder's day is done. E.J. Manuel now comes in to play quarterback, has played in each of the first 2 games. Running to the outside, Chris Thompson, who has shown flashes of brilliance this afternoon. Taken down by Andrew Rich. E.J. Manuel, the Gator Bowl MVP, starting because Ponder had been out with the hurt shoulder.
And E.J. Manuel is an impressive young quarterback as well. I think the reps he got last year when Christian Ponder were invaluable to him and is really going to help him make the transition when Christian Ponder graduates this season. Or excuse me, he's already graduated
right.
when he leaves Florida State.
When his football eligibility is exhausted.
That's right.
He already has got an undergrad degree in 2.5 years and an MBA already. Working on his second master's. Into the end zone. Waiting for the signal. No, they're going to say that Thompson was stopped just short of the goal line.
Florida State grinding it out on the ground. See the great second effort, but I think he was short. Officials correctly on the call. I wonder if these running backs are arguing over who gets this next carry. Running backs by committee has been the way to go today for Florida State. All of them showing glimpses of being something special.
Ty Jones, there you see him, number 33. He's the tailback. A little play fake. Manuel loses the ball but pounces on it. Back at the 9. Jordan Pendleton again. Well, what a game he has played. He was in on the quarterback.
On the play by number 22, Andrew Rich.
Well, I think Florida State thought they could get away with a little play action. They've been running it so much on these last few drives, expecting BYU to think they're going to grind out the clock again. But Jordan Pendleton doing a great job staying home, sticking to his assignments, being aware that E.J. Manuel is a great running quarterback, just like Christian Ponder, staying home and bringing him down.
Manuel, redshirt sophomore from Virginia Beach. There's been a lot of talent coming out of that area. 6'4", you see towering over the assistant coaches there on the sideline.
He is a physical specimen.
Florida State takes its final timeout. And we're going to take this time to get an update from Dari Noka. Dari.
Little drama in Madison here. Wisconsin trying to hold off Arizona State. Cameron Marshall into the end zone for the Sun Devils. They're down 1 late. Extra point. Why on earth would we show you this if it weren't blocked? Ouch. 20-19. Wisconsin hanging on.
In front of their rabid fans. The atmosphere in Death Valley is intimidating. And tonight,
extra point for Wisconsin could preserve a victory. Arizona State going into Madison today. Thank you, Dari. Here we've got, boy, it's been all Florida State here in the second half. It was 13-10 at the half. Florida State scored touchdowns on its first 2 possessions of the half. And they're close to scoring again. Their second-string quarterback, E.J. Manuel, has relieved Christian Ponder. Christian 14 of 21 for 149 yards and a touchdown today. Also ran for 58 yards and a score. And on 4th and goal, Florida State going for it and getting the touchdown, breaking another tackle. This time it's Ty Jones taking it in for the score.
Well, we saw him earlier shed a few tackles. Once again, great second effort by Ty Jones. Just a simple handoff from the shotgun. You cannot arm tackle these guys. You've got to bring them down. Andrew Rich, their strong safety, comes in. And the coaches said, as Andrew Rich goes, so the BYU defense goes. And you saw there, missed tackle, gave up the touchdown.
That was a good hold on a not great snap that time. Ty Jones has a couple of touchdowns today. Caught a 3-yard touchdown pass from Christian Ponder back in the 3rd quarter, and now the 9-yard touchdown run. And he is getting close to 100 yards. His teammate Chris Thompson already well over 100 yards on the ground today.
It's been a great day for the rushing game of Florida State, and it really is a tribute to their offensive line. So much experience on that front 5, and without Andrew Datko, their left tackle, who's been so stellar for them, to have Henry or at least come in and fill in the spots. Got to be pretty comforting for Florida State.
Datko out with a banged up shoulder today. Here's the top 10. Alabama just absolutely running away at Duke as you expected. And we're looking, we don't see any upsets there this week. In the Oklahoma Air Force game, very interesting because those are the two teams that our two teams lost to. And look at Air Force hanging in there, only down 4.
Troy Calhoun does a great job out there at the Air Force Academy, and they run that triple option. It doesn't matter who you go against, you can give people fits, and obviously they're giving the Sooners fits today. And of course, you've got, if you're Oklahoma coming off a huge win at home, you've got to worry about motivating your players, keeping them up.
Air Force just kicked an extra point, so it's now 27-24. Oklahoma only up by 3, and that Oklahoma team absolutely destroyed, eviscerated, whatever kind of word you want to use. They crushed this team last week by the score of 47-17, beat Florida State. But good bounce back game. You think they should be feeling better about themselves than they did last week?
I think the coaches will be pleased. There was no sense of panic. I mean, obviously they never want to go in there and get a loss and have a poor performance, but the bounce back will be a sign of positivity. It'll be hopefully a sign of things to come for this Florida State team, and Jimbo Fisher passes his first test of adversity.
Dustin Hopkins continues to be Mr. Touchback for Florida State. What about BYU? All right, guys, they are 1-2 now on the season, and we'll get into the meat of their Mountain West Conference schedule. And remember, this is their last season in the Mountain West because starting next year, they will be an independent in football only.
And that's going to be a lot of people across the country watching them. And Bronco Mendenhall is going to have a challenge because he said this team reminds him with the youth of the first year he came in as head coach, where they went 7-6, struggled a little bit.
Still got him to a bowl game. They've been in a bowl game every year he's been there. True freshman Joshua Quezada getting a carry. The rest of the teams at Brigham Young, as BYU football goes independent, will be joining the West Coast Conference starting in the fall of 2011. They still have to figure out where some sports will be because the West Coast Conference does not have all of the varsity sports that BYU has, but the men's and women's basketball, the so-called major Olympic sports, will be going into the West Coast Conference.
And Bronco was interesting. He said that the powers that be came and asked him for his opinion, and he said, you know what, guys, I have enough on my plate worrying about this football team, getting the right guys in the field, recruiting, game planning. You guys take care of it. I'll make sure our guys are ready to play.
Heaps has been the quarterback for most of the afternoon. Completes that to O'Neal Chambers for the first down. Florida State next week. They welcome Wake Forest, then go on the road to Virginia and Miami. And the ACC trying to regain some respectability after a tough week last week. Florida State among the ACC teams getting thumped. Heaps goes down again thanks to Dan Hicks. 7th sack of the day, depending on the penalty call.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
And let's not forget that Florida State did go on the road to an Oklahoma team that has an excellent chance of running the table and possibly playing in a national championship game. And we're talking about Jimbo Fisher in his first year as head coach, trying to revamp things. You've got Mark Stoops reworking the defense. But if they can get on track and get to that ACC title game, you'd have to hand it over to these coaches and the job they'd be able to do, but that's a long way off. We'll have to see how they respond.
2nd and 14 after the penalty. Heaps on the roll. Throws it downfield into double coverage. A great attempt by Chambers, but he was unable to bring it in.
And you can see just some of the raw talent that Heaps has, flinging the ball all over the field. I mean, that ball was delivered on a dime, very accurate. I don't know about the decision, but you're trying to make throws down the field at this point in the game, but the ball just comes off of his arm. You can see it from up here in the booth. It just comes off with a little extra velocity. He's got a lot of talent, a bright young future for this quarterback.
6'1", 194-pound true freshman. Now on 3rd and 14. And that one was thrown to Ashworth's wrong shoulder. Lamarcus Joyner, who the coaches here at Florida State think will be terrific, was on the coverage. Here's a 4th and 14, possibly the last play of the game for BYU. Florida State with 280 rushing yards today, 7 sacks for the defense. All in all, a good afternoon in Tallahassee. Heaps gets hit right as he throws it. Somebody's lost a helmet. The ball goes over to Florida State on downs. Dan Hicks again bringing the pressure.
Pam, it makes you feel a little old when you play with a guy's father, but I played with Dan Hicks' dad. Dan Footman was an outstanding defensive lineman for Florida State back when I played. But Dan Hicks showing that he has some of his father's skills, getting to the quarterback, once again getting after the football. Looks like he's going to have a bright future at Florida State as well.
Walter Kahali'i from Lahaina on Maui lost his helmet on that hit. So a very impressive, terrific bounce-back game for Florida State. They shut out BYU in the second half, and they win it by the final of 34-10. Coming up next, SportsCenter U, followed at 7 Eastern by ESPNU College Football Primetime, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Mississippi State is taking on LSU. Christian Ponder with a touchdown run and a touchdown pass as well. College football fans, tune into the experts, 6 experts on ESPNU at 1 and 7 p.m. Eastern, discussing college football. This has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Danny Cannell and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Pam Ward. A very impressive day for Florida State. They win it by the final of 34-10. Thompson, 123 yards on the ground. So long from Tallahassee, and hello to Dari Noka in the studio.
All right, Pam, thank you much. Don't forget Chris Rell for that Mississippi State Bulldog team. Going to get a shot at LSU. Kickoff just under 20 minutes from now right here on ESPNU. It will get you to that kickoff in Baton Rouge. Let's update Air Force at Oklahoma. Now, the Sooners blasted that Florida State team last year. They come out a little bit slow and sluggish here at home against Air Force. Kyle Halderman touchdown. It's a 3-point game. It is Oklahoma ball with just a couple of minutes to go. We will keep you posted there. OU with a 2nd and 6. Welcome into our ESPNU studios. SportsCenter U. Dari Noka, Chris Doring, former Florida wide receiver, All-SEC, All-American. You're interested in what's going on in the SEC.
Yeah, a lot of great action in the SEC today, including my alma mater.
Including, yeah, your alma mater, Florida. A little scary there for a little bit, but they'll be okay. How about Alabama and Duke? Well, Ingram back. Mark Ingram. You want action? How about your first carry of the season, Mark Ingram?
Yeah, we were curious to see how Nick Saban utilized Mark Ingram after coming back from that scope that he had just over 2 weeks ago. The guy completely went off today. A great ball game for Mark Ingram, and I think certainly you see that he's back and healthy.
You know, last year, Ingram had 2 carries all season of at least 45 yards. He had 2 carries of at least 45 yards in the first quarter. Today, that one goes for 50. In the first 6 minutes, he had that. Ingram, 19 yards. Touchdown. How about a 9-carry, 151-yard, 2-touchdown day? And those numbers might have been better had they not blown the doors off Duke. Here's Trent Richardson. Not doing a lot rushing the ball, 7 carries for 61, but on a kick return, he gone.
Can't forget about Trent Richardson. This guy is a tremendous backup. I know you got a great running back in Mark Ingram. That's a Heisman Trophy winner, but Trent Richardson is a beast as well.
62-13, Alabama just destroying Duke. Now, nobody was sure how healthy he was going to be, Ingram. How much, if it would be difficult to ease him back in, get him back in, would he do slow? They have Arkansas next week on the road. I think all those questions are probably answered. Alabama looks like a clear-cut number 1.
No, they are a fabulous team. And you look at the depth. We talked about having the luxury of having Trent Richardson backing up Mark Ingram. You look at A.J. McCarron. He's going to be a very good quarterback behind Greg McElroy. This offensive line, one of the best in the country. You can't say enough about this Alabama offense.
Yeah, Ingram, again, 9 carries and 151 yards as they go to Arkansas. It could be interesting.
Yeah, I think this was a good game to get Ingram back, get him healthy before going into that big game in Arkansas.
How about getting someone back? Sean Drone back for North Carolina. Of course, he missed that LSU game along with many of his teammates. NCAA investigation, question marks. They were playing a Georgia Tech team coming off a loss to Kansas. Boy, Georgia Tech, though, nice quick start there. Orwin Smith, his only carry goes for 73.
Tough to defend that triple option. You don't see it a lot during the season.
Well, T.J. Yates rolling, finding Eric Highsmith. Touchdown, Carolina.
I like TJ Yates rolling to the left, throwing down the field across his body. Nice throw by the quarterback.
Yates in his 13th year at UNC.
Yeah, he's been there forever.
Seems that way, doesn't it? How about Joshua Nesbitt? He threw it 4 times. That's a big number for Georgia Tech. That's Roddy Jones, 41 yards.
Completed 3 of them, though. Not a bad throwing percentage for him.
75, you'll take it. Led to a 1-yard Nesbitt touchdown run. And then Yates facing a 4th and 10. Little farm shovel pass. Get it out of here to Johnny White, but they needed 10. They got 5. Carolina losing 30-24 for the second straight game. How about East Carolina and Virginia Tech? Now, Ryan Williams, his Hokies were 0-2. Surely they wouldn't start 0-3. Williams, oh no. Helmet to the knee. Left the game. Ryan Williams, the super sophomore running back, did not return. It was up to Darren Evans on the running game for Virginia Tech, and here's Evans.
With as much as Virginia Tech was hyped before the season, no way they could come back and start this season 0-3. It looked like they were suffering a little bit of a hangover early from that James Madison game.
Well, that's what they needed there was a win. But look at ECU. This Dominique Davis, he is a good quarterback, a junior in his first year starting for the Pirates. Got down to the 1, led to a touchdown run. So ECU was up at the break, and then, oh, what is this defense? I remember they used to have this at Virginia.
Yeah, they were supposed to be good, weren't they?
Yeah.
Great play there. Nice. Got them some momentum and easily pulled away in the second half.
Rashad Carmichael there. So Virginia Tech avoids that 0-3 start. All right, we just saw Florida State look good in a win over BYU. What impressed you the most about Florida State, 34-10?
Well, going into the game this week, after last week's debacle at Oklahoma, they talked about tackling better. They missed 15 tackles last week per Jimbo Fisher's estimation. This week, they played much better on defense. They gave up only under 50 yards in the second half, no points, and I thought the defense was much improved. Big ups to the offense as well. The running backs combined for 280 yards on the ground, something that they needed to take some of the pressure off of Christian Ponder.
Yeah, I mean, we look at the ACC, and we were kind of bashing that league earlier today, probably fairly so based on what happened last week. You look at Florida State. Does this team look like a group that is ready to maybe be in that top 2 or 3 of this league, maybe even win this league? It is a down year for them.
I was going to say, if they end up winning this league, it's because the league is down. I think they certainly are a couple years away from being back, but you know they have great players. They always recruit within the top 10 in the country. Jimbo Fisher has instilled a kind of a new sense, renewed pride there at Florida State. So I think they're going to be back. I don't think it's going to be this year, though.
All right, we're waiting at kickoff from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's the game that's